It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce our first special guest, who also happens to be the recipient of this year's Alan Lichter Visionary Leader Award. This award was created in honor of Alan S. Lichter to recognize ASCO members who have transformed oncology or significantly advanced the mission of ASCO, Conquer Cancer, or Cancer Link through their leadership, vision, and ability to inspire. This year's award recipient, Dr. Monica Bertagnolli, has done all of this and more. In October 2022, she was appointed as the 16th director of the of the NCI by President Biden. Prior to this, she served as the Richard E. Wilson Professor of Surgery in the field of surgical oncology at Harvard Medical School, and is a member of the Gastrointestinal Cancer and Sarcoma Disease Centers at the Brigham and Women's Dana-Farber Cancer Center. Dr. Bertagnolli has had numerous leadership roles in multi-institutional cancer clinical research consortia. From 1994 to 2011, she led gastrointestinal correlative science initiatives within the NCI-funded cancer cooperative groups, where she facilitated integration of tumor-specific molecular markers of treatment outcome into nationwide clinical cancer treatment protocols. From 2011 to 2022, she served as the group chair, a remarkable group chair, for the Alliance for Clinical Trials in Oncology. During this time, she also served as the CEO of Alliance Foundation Trials. She is, notably, a past president of ASCO and has served on the board of directors of the American Cancer Society and the Prevent Cancer Foundation. It is my great honor and pleasure to present this award to my colleague and friend, Dr. Monica Bertagnolli.
So much.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
You are such a treasure. I really can't adequately express what an honor it is to receive an award that was created to honor my mentor and friend, Alan Lichter. He's the one who first made me aware of the tremendous potential of engaging every single person in the process of preventing and curing cancer through the vision of developing a learning healthcare system. Alan, you are a tremendous inspiration whose vision is changing the world. Bit by bit, we are going to make it happen. Thank you so much. 4 years ago, during my presidential address before this ASCO audience, I asked everyone to use an interactive app on their smartphone and text a 1 to 2 word description of who you were, so that we could create a word cloud to let everyone know something important about those who were represented in this very large audience. Well, this was the result. I was in awe when I saw this. I remember being very surprised, but on second thought, not surprised at all that so many here in this room were here not only as cancer clinicians and cancer researchers, but also as cancer survivors. And now, after getting my own cancer diagnosis last November, I am grateful to be a cancer survivor myself. Thank you. Today I want to do 2 things. First, to set out some big challenges for all of us. And second, to express my profound gratitude to the people who make it possible for us to succeed. On behalf of the NCI, many other contributors across NIH, the other agencies of Health and Human Services, advocacy organizations, and societies such as ASCO, I'd like to present our common goals. Goals that, if achieved, will ensure that everyone with a cancer diagnosis lives a full and active life free from cancer's harmful effects, or better yet, that cancer is prevented so that few people have to ever face this challenge. I am hoping to be one of those people with cancer who live a free and full active life free from cancer's harmful effects. What has given me this hope? Science, research, all that we celebrate at each ASCO annual meeting. But as a cancer survivor looking at a Kaplan-Meier plot, I think even more about the people represented by each small transition point. Each of the patients represented by plots like this joined us to make the world better. And at each of the time points depicted here by these small ticks, someone's life was dramatically changed. We have a national charge issued by President Biden calling on all of us to work together to make faster progress and focus on the experience of people with cancer. Based on a recent analysis by NCI researchers, we will achieve a 50% age-adjusted mortality decrease by 2047 with a modest further annual reduction sustained over the next 25 years. This might seem relatively easy, given the favorable trajectory that we've seen in mortality in recent years. You all know that it most certainly is not. It will take committed, collective action from all of us, including societal changes, much beyond the biomedical community. We won't succeed if we stay in our silos, and we won't succeed by pointing fingers. We have to find new ways to work together, taking full advantage of everyone's collective resources, expertise, and experience. To guide our work, to help us set priorities that center on what is required to change the world for people at risk for cancer or with cancer, we asked the question, what would success look like? The perspective here is to boldly state all that we must do to end cancer as we know it. This thinking underlies the new National Cancer Plan, which details 8 goals and strategies to reduce cancer mortality and dramatically improve the lives of people affected by cancer. You, the cancer research and clinical care community, will see your work reflected in these goals. But they were designed to guide not only NCI, not only ASCO members, but also everyone else we need if we are going to accomplish them, from government leaders all the way to individual private citizens. The plan provides a long-term vision to eliminate roadblocks to collaboration across all levels of society to achieve the fastest possible results. So, what would success look like? First, we must prevent cancer. To do this, all people and society adopt proven strategies that reduce the risk of cancer. We've seen a dramatic reduction in mortality with tobacco cessation. We know that a healthy weight regular exercise, avoiding too much sun or too much alcohol are all important. These are things that each of us can commit to. But we need so much more. A fundamental understanding of what drives early carcinogenesis and more accurate management of heritable and environmental risk factors, and many more prevention-focused clinical trials. Next, we must detect cancers early. We must see a society overall where cancers are detected and treated at early stages. Cancer's a gradual process. We must address it before it causes trouble. But we also can't overreact so that our treatments are worse than the disease. Again, we need better fundamental understanding of cancer biology, new diagnostics, and more clinical trials. We must have effective treatments for every person and every cancer, with minimal side effects that is accessible to all people, including those with rare cancers, metastatic cancers, and treatment-resistant disease. For some cancers, we have made tremendous progress. For others, not so much. Succeeding for one gives us confidence that with renewed dedication and persistence and commitment, we can succeed for all. Next, we must eliminate inequities. This means that we will live in a society where disparities are eliminated through equitable access to prevention, screening, treatment, and survivorship care. I don't believe there is anything more tragic than seeing great harm come to people, not because we don't have ways to help, but because life-saving options are just not available to them. We have a moral obligation to overcome disparities for everyone. We must deliver optimal care. We need to create a learning health system that prioritizes prevention, reduces morbidity and mortality, and improves the lives of cancer survivors, including those many people who are living with cancer. All who work in healthcare understand the challenges of caring for people in a complex and ever-changing environment. 332 million people live in the US, and older individuals make up an ever greater proportion of our population. Inefficiencies, excessive costs, barriers to access, and above all, complacency must be eliminated. We must maximize data utility. We can create conditions such that secure sharing of privacy-protected health data is standard practice throughout research. How much knowledge do we still have locked away in clinical trials databases, electronic health records, and in research laboratories? We no longer have excuses for not sharing data because technology exists that can allow us to honor the wishes of our patients for data use and to combine, analyze, and visualize data from many different sources. What we still lack is a commitment to this goal. We are beginning to see a crack in the dam through efforts across the US and Europe. We must optimize the workforce. We need to nurture a cancer care and research workforce that is diverse, reflects the communities served, and meets the needs of all people with cancer and those at risk for cancer. And last, but definitely not least, we must engage every person. Every person with cancer or at risk for cancer should have an opportunity if they wish to do so, to participate in research or otherwise contribute to collective knowledge base, and barriers to their participation must be eliminated. We lament the fact that less than 10% of cancer patients in the US participate in clinical trials. We agonize over issues related to informed consent, responsibility for data security, and intellectual property. The answer here, however, is to listen to our patients. They are demanding more access to clinical trials and more use of their data, and we must make this possible. I am also convinced by my own experience that if we just honor the wishes of people whose data we need in all of these matters, we will make tremendous progress. At NCI, we are fully committed to doing everything we can to power cancer research across the full spectrum, from basic discovery to healthcare delivery. Here I've picked some key examples related to advancing clinical research. The new Pragmatica lung trial is a registration intent study evaluating whether a combination of ramucirumab and pembrolizumab can help those with advanced lung cancer live longer than standard chemotherapy. And importantly, it will test methods to dramatically streamline data collection and rapidly engage patients. We've launched a new clinical trials innovation unit just this February that's a collaboration between NCI, FDA, and extramural researchers of the National Clinical Trials Network to advance innovative science, trial designs, and operational efficiencies to break the mold to deliver better results faster. The unit will select high-priority studies that are amenable to radically new designs and operational procedures, and then, the important part, work with all of the partners necessary to carry them forward through the NCTN, both our clinical trials partners and our industry partners. NCI's program Connecting Underrepresented Populations to Clinical Trials addresses key issues that affect diversity in clinical trials and will improve dissemination of information and care into underserved communities where these are needed most. Another new NCI initiative, known by shorthand as CC Direct, will bring navigation services to children, adolescents, and young adults with cancer and their families. It will also facilitate research participation and establish a portable, shareable, standardized cancer health record for children and adolescents. It stands out because this represents the first of its kind public-private partnership between NCI and 8 partner organizations spanning government, nonprofit, research, and clinical practice sectors. Last year, we launched NCI's Telehealth Research Center of Excellence, or TRACE initiative, to rapidly develop an evidence base of telehealth approaches that make it easier for people to access cancer care and participate in clinical trials. This will add to our understanding of how telehealth approaches can help overcome cancer health disparities. And then finally, if we hope to reach the levels of research participation required to achieve the goals I described, we must empower researchers across the entire country, not just the main research hubs. This is why programs like the NCI Community Oncology Research Program, or NCORE, are so critical. NCORE extends the reach of clinical trials into the communities where people live to bring both care and clinical research to them. I am so happy to have the opportunity today to acknowledge the courage and generosity of an estimated 494,018 women who agreed to participate in a series of randomized clinical trials with results reported between 1971 and 2018. Their contributions showed that mammography can detect cancer at an early stage, that mastectomies and axillary lymph node dissections are not always necessary, that chemotherapy can benefit some people with early ER-positive, HER2-negative breast cancer, but is not needed for all, and that hormonal therapy can prevent disease recurrence. For the key studies that produced just these results, it took the strength and commitment of almost 500,000 women. I am the direct beneficiary of their contributions, and for this I am profoundly grateful. But the true number of brave souls contributing to this reduction in breast cancer mortality over the last 30 years, many millions. These are our heroes. If we can unlock the secrets to successful prevention and treatment for some cancers, we can do it for all of them. It will take commitment from all of us, literally all people doing their part, but we can achieve a world where those with cancer live full and active lives, free from cancer's harmful effects, and where cancer is most often prevented so that more never have to face this challenge. Thank you all so much.